Donc bonjour à tous les amis et bienvenue, donc c'est une blague, j'espère que vous avez passé un bon lundi. Donc on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour une vidéo sur The Council. Et je m'excuse d'avance pour le bruit de fond, c'est mon climatiseur. Donc comme il fait énormément de bruit, je vais muter mon micro à chaque fois quand ce n'est pas nécessaire de parler. Voilà, tout simplement pour que vous puissiez rester dans le jeu, sans être dérangé. Donc voilà, on va continuer où on en était. Donc apparemment on était au couloir du premier étage et on était au chapitre 5. Je sais pas, il y a marqué 5. Et on a fini l'épisode 1, je tiens à le rappeler, enfin je crois. Donc voilà, heureusement que le jeu m'éclaire aussi parce que je suis dans le noir total. Donc, la dernière fois, dans la vidéo d'avant, on avait fait des confrontations mais je m'en étais plutôt bien sorti. Vous vous souvenez pour le mini procès de Louis justement. Je dis pas de lui, je dis de Louis. Je dis pas que c'est son prénom. Donc là je dois aller à la chambre de la tour, mais je vous avouerai que je sais pas où c'est.
Beep 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 beep.
Alors là les amis, je suis perdu. Ça fait je sais pas combien de fois que je fais le tour. Et j'ai accès à aucune porte. Et je peux pas utiliser les escaliers. Tous les escaliers sont bloqués. Ok, là. Et ici je peux pas monter. En fait c'est scripté. Parce qu'il n'y a qu'un seul endroit où vous pouvez aller apparemment. Mais je le trouve pas. Lol. Allez, cet escalier là. Pas non plus. Faut peut-être retourner dans notre chambre.
Beep 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 beep.
J'ai enfin trouvé la bonne porte. Après au moins 10 minutes de tourner en rond, quoi. MDR. En fait c'était tout simple, elle était juste là où je m'étais arrêté, je crois. Ah là là. Je me disais mais pourquoi il s'obstine à vouloir me faire rester à cet étage?
I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is on to us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Moi j'adore comment il est sans vie en fait quand il trouve quelque chose. Quelle expression sur le visage.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our days. The door appears to be locked on the other side. Fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Pour une fois qu'on peut faire les deux. Ah d'accord. Utilisation gratuite, bah oui. On va faire ça.
We're gonna need something to help me get the key that fell on the floor. The door was closed from the inside. The mother provided something within reach to recover it?
Bah tu sais, tu passes juste un truc sous la porte, ça va marcher, hein.
What is this disc? We'll see if it works. It's open. It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini. If we have hope in Christ in this life only, we are, of all men, most miserable. A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Rini. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
C'est bien parce qu'avec ce jeu, t'apprends aussi des trucs. Tu vois.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Ah, on peut rien faire comme c'est étonnant. Oh, difficulté 7, c'est un peu... Ça sert à quoi la gelée royale en fait? D'accord. Guido Rini, il a peint beaucoup de choses quand même.
Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe? Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Rini.
Ok, alors on a le chiffre 11 souligné 2 fois, donc ça doit avoir un lien avec ça. Et ça parlait d'un groupe de... Ah merde. Attendez.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
C'est un groupe de pèlerins, il a dit. Un groupe de pèlerins, donc... Ça doit être ça. Non, nous c'est 2 fois 11. Faut le chercher quelque part. Ok, donc c'est pas ça. Ah, chapitre 11, verset 11.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it.
D'accord.
Imperative, awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that? St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated.
Attends, dès que j'ai vu le plus jeune apôtre, j'ai pensé directement à lui. Hein. C'est juste toi qui es con. Je pense qu'il faut faire ça. Hein. Ouais. Allez, c'est derrière. Pousse-moi cette merde. Ah, de l'intelligence, putain.
Listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? they should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecy? And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note, unfolded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Here's the angel?
Oh.
What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note. There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew. There's nothing worth noticing here. There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. No, nothing of value here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. The group of pilgrims who...
Quand ils font des énigmes, ils font pas semblant dans ce jeu, je vous le dis. On doit s'aider du livre, et je sais qu'il y a un lien avec la Corinthie, grâce à lui. Vous allez voir. Je l'ai eu là.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. Miserable. Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment...
Alors on a appris un nouveau truc les amis, grâce aux Corinthiens. Il est vraiment primordial qu'on ne le retrouve pas, méfiez-vous du Prussien et sur sa piste. Ah c'est le mec à la moustache. Retrouvons-nous, je vous laisse fixer le rendez-vous, pas aujourd'hui, cela me sera impossible. En attendant, je suivrai le premier groupe jusqu'à Marc.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal. The curtains of his illusion.
Alors on a un chiffre maintenant, 4. On a le 4. Et j'avais complètement zappé ce tableau qui était dans l'autre pièce.
Saint Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
Parce que il est plus important. Alors on va aller au livre. Je pense que là, il n'y a plus de tableau. Hein. Il n'y a plus de tableau. Donc on a 4. On a le chiffre 4, donc on va chercher à Paul. Ah par contre, on n'a pas d'indice sur le...
And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to them and said, Take, eat, this is my body. Ye henceforth walk not.
Donc en fait ça prend du temps parce que là je suis en train de faire tous les versets qui portent le chiffre 4. Hein. C'est vrai que ça prend du time.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help?
En fait, les tableaux vous donnent vraiment pas beaucoup d'indices, donc en fait, vous le faites... vous en venez à faire tous les versets, quoi.
When Paul understood that only the acts counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Près de Paul. D'accord. Le dernier indice, en fait, les amis, est donné par lui. Donc en fait, il faut aller sur les actes. Et ensuite, je crois qu'il faut aller sur ça. Ah non, il faut aller sur les actes, je suis con. C'est là. Et après, c'est un de tout ça que je vais tous les faire.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here.
Ah voilà.
From mother in reply to Eve. We must
J'en ai fait deux avant. Hein.
But first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Wolller. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward?
En tout cas, c'était compliqué. Hein.
I fear the worst. What did mother mean by I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? Clearly, she must be trying to do something useful, but what? The nightmare. Does that remind me of anything? It must surely speak of a place. Granting that this is the case, where am I to be found? I thought it would have been over there, but something's telling me that it isn't. I better keep searching. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Bon, l'énigme aurait été bien longue et chiante et j'aurais pas... Bah, je vais partir en n'ayant pas pu ouvrir la petite boîte. C'est dommage. Bon. Apparemment on doit tous être invités. Oh. Alors je me suis innocenté aux yeux de mes hôtes. J'ai fouillé le bureau de Lord Mortimer, j'ai trouvé tous les échanges entre ma mère et eux. J'ai découvert le message de ma mère, mais je n'ai pas compris le message de ma mère au sujet du cauchemar. Voilà. En fait, c'est pour ça que ce jeu est chiant. C'est que en fait, je crois que j'ai eu bon aux deux premiers, sauf le dernier où j'ai mis jardin. Mais monsieur, en fait, pourquoi on fait le jeu? C'est pour le se découvrir justement en interrogeant les autres personnes. Donc c'est pas un truc raté en fait. C'est le jeu qui fait exprès pour vous faire chier. Alors 4 points. Bon bah je vais faire ça et puis on se retrouve à la cinématique. Hein. Je pense qu'il y en aura une.
This time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
D'un côté j'ai envie de lui dire et d'un autre non, donc oh là là. Bon, donc vous savez quoi, on va pas faire l'enfoiré et puis on va lui dire.
Emily, there's something else.
Car je vais pas le regretter.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
How did you find out?
Sir Gregory told me on my arrival.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see. Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
On dirait qu'il y a quelqu'un qui s'embrouille.
You will pay dearly, Péru. I'm sure you
Ah oui, ça s'embrouille.
somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back. It's gonna cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest. But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Péru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds.
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Péru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness, he was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, Here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few
Elle a plutôt mal commencé, hein.
before you all find out
Avec des enfoirés.
your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another.
Et il y a une seule
When
femme.
you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Bon, et bien nous, on doit parler au prêtre.
Could you spare a moment,
Ah bah merde.
please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too.
Of course.
Bon bah, on va avoir le droit à un dialogue avec eux.
I heard about your
Une
mother's
confrontation. Chut.
I was concerned. I don't know why, but I'm down
Ok, on va la faire et puis je pense qu'on va arrêter la vidéo parce que sinon ça va durer trop longtemps.
Any news of her? Have you found her? Maybe.
Vas-y, on va se le faire. On va se le faire.
Hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem. Yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what he was getting at.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Of course she did.
Perfect. I'm glad to know it. So, how should we proceed then?
What do you mean?
Oh, come, sir. No point pretending. You know. You obviously have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
J'ai cru que j'allais me faire descendre là, sérieux.
Indeed. My mother is never without her favorite book.
Oh, a stroke of luck.
I didn't think her original edition of Bougainville would be so captivating to you.
No, indeed. The one I'm interested in is a very old book,
Ah bon?
with each chapter under lock and key. It has nothing to do with the Bougainville's book.
Oh,
Right.
on s'en est bien
Sorry,
sorti là,
I
sérieux.
don't know anything about that.
Ah, well, too bad.
You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchet in Paris. Do you know him?
Indeed. My mother and I had a brush with this individual just a few months ago.
What about?
About an object stolen from the Order a few years ago, which my mother wanted to recover.
This situation comes as a great surprise to me.
I got him now. I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wolner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wolner. You're the one who von Burchert was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Ouh, j'ai peur.
Your dear king, I should think.
What? You mean Frederick William? Oh, my poor fellow. You are miles away. That stupid, pretentious puppet wields
Ah, c'était
no
Holm.
power. But seeing as you do not wish to be serious, so be it. Good luck to you.
C'était Holm. C'était Holm parce que c'est pas Mortimer. Mortimer, c'était trop facile. Et le roi de Prusse, il en a rien à foutre. Donc c'était Holm. Je voulais le mettre, mais bon, j'avais un doute. Bon, bah dans la prochaine vidéo, on va inspecter tout ça. Ah, et puis on peut parler à Napoléon. Oh là là. On va se passer de son accent à couper au couteau là. Donc n'hésitez pas à me chier dessus quoi vous avez aussi pas déjà fait, parce que là mon cerveau il est en compote à cause de l'énigme. Et la confrontation on n'a fait aucune faute, donc je suis plutôt content. Donc voilà, n'hésitez pas à vous abonner si c'est pas déjà fait, et moi je vous retrouve vendredi pour la vidéo de ski. Salut les gens, prenez soin de vous. Ciao.